Hey boys and girls, it's Mr. Phillips. I'm here to do a read aloud with you today for a book called Squirrels Who Squabble. The word squabble, that's an interesting word. A squabble is when you have a disagreement or an argument with somebody. And we're going to meet two squirrels that are friends, but sometimes they're not treating each other like friends. So we're going to learn that in the end, no matter what, a friend is a friend. Let's listen. Squabbling. Squirrels, the squirrels who squabbled. In a towering forest where summer had been, the leaves turned to gold as cold winds blew in, and as autumn arrived, with the sky raging red, the sleepiest creatures got ready for bed, while up in a tree swung a flighty young squirrel, who everyone knew as Spontaneous Cyril. Now most forestry folk had seen to their needs through the plentiful months of mushrooms and seeds. They'd built up their stores so they'd be well fed through the frosting of winter, the glittering ahead. But Cyril, he lived in the now and the here. He'd adventured and partied his way through the year, so his cupboards were empty, his hollow was bare. He hadn't a mouthful of any food anywhere. But wait! What was that? Over there, take a look. A single lone pine cone wedged in a nook. He squealed with delight, and for a very good reason, for inside were the very last nuts of the season. But Cyril wasn't alone. There were more hungry eyes. Yes, plan ahead Bruce had his sights on the prize. Though he'd gathered fresh treasures of every sort, Bruce was convinced he was one pine cone short. I simply must have it, he wistfully cried, as he dreamt of the fresh, juicy pine cone inside. So as Cyril set off on his way to the ground, Bruce, he was also last pine cone bound. They sprinted and scurried with no time to gamble. They scratched at the bark in their scampering scramble. But their panic and haste shook the tips of the spruce, and the pine cones trembled, and then it came loose. Both squirrels gave chase at a lightning pace. This was the start of a wild, nutty race. "It's mine!" shouted Cyril. "No, mine!" hollered Bruce. "You don't stand a chance! Give up! It's no use!" "I'm hungry!" cried Cyril. "This pine cone is not yours!" "Stay back!" said Bruce. "This cone is mine for store." It boinged off bushes, it flew through the air, it binged on the nose of a slumbering, sleepy bear. It bounced over boulders, then came to a stop, then teetered and wobbled and quivered and plop. Both squirrels followed. Oh, the water was fast. Would they learn what they needed each other at last? But each was intent on how he could win, so they didn't quite notice a bird swooping in. Cyril and Bruce, they watched in dismay as their cone disappeared, up, and away. "Come back!" shouted Cyril. "There are nuts!" exclaimed Bruce. But all hope was gone. It was simply no use. And meanwhile they drifted right up to the ledge. Greed, it was driving them over the edge. Cyril and Bruce, they had taken a fall. They were paying the price for wanting it all. They'd squandered their chances to team up and share. Would their nutty young hopes simply end in despair? Bruised and bedraggled, they swept past dry land. Cyril dropped at a branch with a trembling hand. Catching Bruce with the other, he heaved and he huffed and pulled him up to safety with panting and puffs. They dragged themselves up with sputtering wriggles. Then Bruce looked at Cyril and exploded in giggles. "How silly we are," he managed to mutter. "How greedy I've been," he proclaimed with a splutter. "We shall change from today. May the squabbling cease and end. We shall celebrate, seeing we both in one piece." From that day and forward, they had a great pair. They would gather together, and they found that they could share. Yes, Cyril and Bruce. They knew in the end, the best thing to share is a laugh with your friend. This is the Squirrels Who Squabble. Boys and girls, I hope you saw in this book that they weren't treating each other very nicely. And then they realized in the end, what are we arguing about? We're going to be friends till the end, no matter what. This was the Squirrels Who Squabbled. Thank you, boys and girls. Have a great day.